Hey, this is DJ Ashba from 6 a.m., and you are listening to BackstageAxxess.com, where the real show begins.
Hey, this is Chris at BackstageAxxess.com, and joining us today is DJ Ashba, guitarist for 6 a.m. and Guns N' Roses. He's here today to talk with us about the brand new 6 a.m. album, Modern Vintage, and to fill us in on all the details of 6 a.m.'s first ever headlining tour. Well, welcome to BackstageAxxess.com. We appreciate you calling in and taking the time to talk with us today.
Well, thank you for giving me a call. I'm just waking up.
Now, 6 a.m. has a brand new album out, Modern Vintage, and I understand that debuted at #1 on iTunes Rock Charts. So, first of all, congratulations to you and the band on that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a real thrill to see the fans' reaction on this album. It's just been overwhelming. Very cool.
Now, I personally like the title of the album, Modern Vintage, because once you listen to the record, it's a very fitting title because the whole album has a very vintage 60s, 70s feel to it, but it totally sounds fresh and up-to-date and modern as well. Now, how did you guys kind of blend that old-school sound with the modern edge?
You know, that was kind of the whole theme and concept of this album. The whole inspiration was to go back and really dig into our past and music collection and albums and bands we used to listen to growing up as kids and kind of try to get inspired, re-inspired, I should say, by the spirit of what they were doing back then. Because when, you know, people like Queen and ELO and David Bowie and all those bands made albums back then, they were epic. They were journeys. They were so incredibly diverse. But yet, you know, you look at them nowadays as rock records, but if you go back and really listen to them, and they were more like, almost like operas, you know, they really took you on such a crazy journey, and not one song was ever the same. So we really wanted to capture that spirit in Modern Vintage and make a record like the ones we used to grow up on.
Now, this release also has quite a bit of a different feel than the prior two 6 a.m. albums. It's still very personal, you know, lyric-wise, but it's not quite as dark as the other two. Is that because it wasn't attached to a, you know, particular book project of Nicky's at the time, and you were just kind of free to go with what you wanted to this time?
No, not at all. It's just, you know, what the main thing is we didn't want to make the same album twice, and we believe we've made three completely different albums. You know, the Heroin Diaries was a very, very dark lyrically and musically, you know, very dark album where, you know, This Is Gonna Hurt, super dark, but it was very aggressive, you know, like the way I approached all the guitar work was, you know, it was a very heavy guitar-driven album.
Right.
And this one is much more of a celebration, although there are very, you know, the underlining of the lyrical content is very dark still. You know, we wanted to, you know, really kind of, you know, venture into different, not only different bands that inspired us, but different genres of music that inspired us, you know, such as ragtime and, you know, disco and different things pulling from, you know, our past.
Right, and as you said, the songs on the record, they do pull from a lot of different genres. You've got that Joplin-esque feel on Before It's Over, and that kind of dance disco beat on Miracle. Who were some of your non-rock musical influences, and what impact did they have on your writing?
You know, I mean, you know, you can kind of take them all, and there you can find rock in anything out there. You know, even Michael Jackson to me was very, very much rock and roll, and Nile Rodgers, and you know the Bee Gees, and you know there's so many different bands that you might not consider rock and roll. You might consider them more pop or this or that. But you know, definitely, you when you break stuff down like Billie Jean and stuff like that, and listen to the music, it's very much rock, and it's such a great groove and great beat, and that's kind of what we wanted to capture on Miracle, and different songs like, for instance, one of my favorite guitar players is Scotty Moore, who is Elvis Presley's guitar player.
Okay.
And if you go back and really listen to Elvis Presley, what made him so great, the obvious is he was just such a great entertainer and an incredible voice. But if you can look past him, which not many people really probably do, that listen to his band. The band he had was just ripping great musicianship, and that's what I love so much about listening to old Elvis songs is Scotty Moore on guitar, and just, and people like that, Chet Atkins and Les Paul and all those type of players, so.
Now, what was the writing process like for this album? Does the band kind of work as a whole, or do you all just bring your own ideas to the table?
No, the band has always, that's never changed. The writing process will never change at 6 a.m. We make a point to always be in the same room,
okay.
when the writing process goes on. The recording process, we all three, I think there's always been a misconception that because Mickey's the majority writer in Motley Crue, that he writes all of his songs for 6 a.m. Well, it couldn't be more false. 6 a.m. is always, 6 a.m. came together before even being a band as a songwriting team. It was 3 producers, 3 songwriters that got together just to, create a soundtrack for a book for fun more than anything, and it just happened. Life is Beautiful went #1, and the rest is history. But we've always, before the music, we are literally, just the best of friends, which has been always great, So yeah, we always get together in the same room and write these songs, and then recording of this album was tough because I was out with Guns N' Roses. I had a heavy tour schedule, and Mickey, of course, was with Motley Crue doing his touring, and so James was flying all over the place, catching up with us and recording out of hotel rooms. My house in Vegas, I have a home studio, so it was a little tougher to get this recorded.
But well worth it with the final product.
Yeah, it took about 2 years in the making at this one.
Well, one of the things that I thought was interesting was the cover that you did of Drive on this record. What is there a story behind including that particular song? It's just a really different feel to it with the soft opening piano and the guitar part near the end is just really uplifting before it slows down again.
Yeah, I mean, we were tossing around the idea of doing a cover for this album when we thought, The Cars would be a perfect song. I think Mickey actually called us and said, hey, what about Drive? And, when we really broke it down lyrically and looked at the message, it could have easily been a 6 a.m. song. It fits very much in our world where it's kind of dark meets light. We always like playing with that.
Right.
And it's a very, very sad story. So we wanted to really kind of strip the song back down to a poem and redo it in a way to where we not only pay homage to the Cars, because it's a wonderful song, but make it sound like a 6 a.m. song. So when fans heard it, some fans that might not even heard the Cars version, would actually think it was an original song, and that was kind of the goal for it.
Okay, it definitely does have that feel to it. If you weren't familiar with it, it would blend right in. Now, there was another big announcement this week for 6 a.m. You guys are finally going to be able to go out and do a headline tour next year in 2015, so we're excited about that. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what fans can kind of expect from this tour?
Yeah, we're really excited. We're taking out Apocalyptica with us, and we absolutely love that band just because they are doing something we can relate, because they're doing something very, very different and very unique, and we want to take a band out like that that's going to complement the show and add to the show. And I think it's just going to be a great night of really, really different rock and roll, which is cool. It's going to be a fun show for everybody. And yeah, we're excited because, it's always been a pipe dream for us to get out and play, but our schedules were so busy, we really never thought we were going to get to. So it's really neat to finally, carve out some time and the fans, the demand for this band live has just been incredible. So they've been incredibly patient. It's been heartbreaking not being able to tour, but we have 3 really solid albums to choose from now, and it's our time to be able to bring a very theatrical show and do the music justice. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I got a chance to see 6 a.m. when you were on Crew Fest a few years back. So that was a little teaser, but we're looking forward to it. Now, will there be more dates added to the tour, do you think, as time goes on?
I'm sorry?
Will there be more dates added to the tour this time, you think?
Well, there won't be any for this tour,
Okay.
Just because we're only basically allowed so much time, due to, Motley Crue touring and, I got touring coming up with Guns N' Roses and,
Okay.
but, we are looking forward to booking more tours for sure in the future.
Okay. Now, since you mentioned, Guns N' Roses, of course, 6 a.m. isn't your only band. You've been with Guns N' Roses since 2009. How difficult has it been, managing being in both bands and having 2 awesome, projects going on at once?
I've been incredibly blessed, and it's just been such a great ride and experience for me, and a learning experience, and just overall, so it's been wonderful. It's been tough, sometimes this gig is pretty stressful, but at the same time, if you love what you do and you're passionate about it, you find the time, you make it work, you dedicate yourself, and, you put in the extra hours to make it all happen,
Now, when can we expect something new from Guns N' Roses?
Well, that has been the talk. That's all we've been talking about is getting in and getting some new stuff done. I know they're looking at booking a bunch of touring next year, so that's exciting too. So hopefully, when we come out, we'll have some new stuff. That's the goal.
Okay. What has your experience been like working and touring with Axl?
It's been, I can't say enough. It's something that money cannot buy. The things that I've learned, just from being in a professional situation like that. You're basically, I'm in a really fortunate situation. There's very few living rock legends walking the earth right now, and I have to be in a band with 2 of them, which has been really fun and unique for me. And the Axl has been, it's just been a fucking blast. We've become incredibly close friends, and I just have the most respect for the guy. He's treated me like gold since day one, and he's just been nothing but a great friend to me. So I can only speak from my experiences, but my experiences have been just incredible.
That's awesome. Now, I read that your first concert was actually a Motley Crue concert. How does it feel?
Yeah.
How does it feel now to be, creating music and touring with one of the members in Nikki?
It's cool, it's one of those things where you pinch yourself, it's like, whoa, I didn't really see that coming, but, it's, the life, I always feel that life's kind of already laid out for you. You just got to figure out the path, and it's just one of those things that we met. We kept kind of running into each other over the years, and it's just, eventually the time was right where we both said, what, yeah, let's do something together, and I'm glad we did.
So am I. It's an incredible story and incredible to see everything evolve over the years as well. Now, I know, not that you're not busy enough because you have so many things going on, but what's up next for you? Anything down the line?
Well, I mean, I have a media company based out of Las Vegas called Ashba Media, and we've been extremely busy. We do all 8 searches away accounts. We build these massive, mind-blowing displays for all the casinos for all their shows.
Okay.
And so that's been keeping us super busy. And I'm just focused on between the media and the clothing line and the cheap bands. It's pretty much keeping me pretty busy.
I would imagine. Well, thank you so much for calling in and talking with us today and keeping us informed on everything that's going on with 6 a.m. We sure do appreciate, and best of luck with the rest of the album coming and the tour. We can't wait to check them out live.
Awesome. Thank you.
One of the worst times